Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. We're going to let some people get on into the room. This is Dr. Lisa Brewer, and this is the Sunday Soul podcast on Heart of Inspiration. Here at this channel, we help you lead a whole and healed, peaceful, and prosperous life. And we have various ways that we do that, one of which is this podcast. This YouTube channel in general, where we discuss everything from tarot to astrology to everything energy. And we're going to be talking about the Hermetic Principles again tonight. And this is going to be the fourth in this now 8-part series on the 7 Hermetic Principles. And we also have Lightworker Academy, where we are doing spiritual counselor, energy healer certification. We're going to be doing some more Reiki certifications, some teaching on meditation and astral travel. And we're also going to be doing some, having some teaching available for download for spiritual, let's just call it spiritual protection, okay? As well as some other things. So I'm just so glad to be here and so glad to have you here. Hello, Lisa Rinsdale. How are you? So I did want to get this out there. So we're going to jump in here in just a few moments. This is live, being broadcast live on YouTube and on Facebook. And you'll be able to hear this on Spotify and other of your podcast streaming platforms. So for those of you that are watching the broadcast, we're going to start in very quickly here on our presentation. Again, just kind of letting some of these notifications go out. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Let everybody know that you're here. Let your friends know that it started, that we are getting going, that it is starting, and they do not want to miss this at all. They do not want to miss this. I will say that the principle of vibration is, as I've been researching and as I've been studying and then preparing these podcasts weekly, I would say that the principle of vibration is probably the most important principle for us to master of all of the Hermetic principles. It is definitely the most important to master of all the Hermetic principles, because this really gets to rather the very essence, if you will, of that which we're speaking of, which is actual alchemy. So let me share my screen here, and we're going to get started on the presentation itself. The principle of vibration is what we're speaking of today. Thank you so very much, everybody, for being here. This is the fourth in the series on the 7 Hermetic Principles. I think the basis of which we need to understand before we go any further into 5D reality. As we've done in the past 2 weeks, I'm going to do a very, very quick review of the Hermetic Principles for those of you that have not yet seen the other broadcasts yet. The Hermetic Principles, as most of you probably know, are part of Hermetic philosophy that has its roots in ancient Egypt. I mean, this goes way, 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 way back. This is way pre-Bible, way pre any of the Judeo-Christian, pre, Talmud, pre all of that, Tanakh, all of that. This is truly ancient, what we would call occult or hidden wisdom. This wisdom was passed to mankind through the quote unquote master of masters, Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes was actually the father of occult or hidden wisdom, the founder of astrology, and the discoverer of alchemy. And then Hermes was deified by the Egyptians to become Thoth, okay? Thoth the Atlantean. When you see the emerald tablets of Thoth, those are the writings of Hermes. When you see the Kabbalion, it is the writings of Hermes. And Hermes was also deified as the messenger of the gods. Not quite a complete deity, but by the Greeks, that's where he was as well. These teachings, because they were occult wisdom, and they were hidden wisdom, these teachings were typically not, you didn't dive into them, and you weren't able just to go to, the university or the next level of higher learning in order to learn them. It was just reserved for a select few. It was you had to get past a certain stage as an initiate and a hierophant and such in order to be able to receive these teachings, because it was felt that unless you had that basis, you would not be able to hear nor understand. I'm bringing them to you because I believe that we are in a space and a place now where we are going through our ascension. We're going through our awakening. Certainly, we're at a higher third dimensional level, frequency wise, than they were back in the time of Egypt. I'm sure we could probably discuss that at some point, whether or not that is actually true or not. But because of the evolutionary stage we are at right now, and because of where we are going into fifth dimensional or fifth density, fifth and sixth, that we're in a good space to do so. And those that don't want to hear it won't hear it. Those that want to hear it and understand it will seek to understand it. Will, you're here. So I'm grateful for you. And we got to remember that this is truly alchemy. And we've always taken alchemy as basically turning lead into gold, right? It's not it. It's the mastery of mental forces to manipulate material reality or third dimensional reality. And we're going to get there today. This is a very, very important, very, very important broadcast. So anybody that you typically know that would typically want to be on and just want to come here and has been with us, or that you believe would benefit from it, let them know to come to the channel now. So what we've done already is we've done an overview. That was week 1. And here are the 7 Hermetic Principles. Week 2, we did this principle of mentalism. Week 3, we did the principle of correspondence. Now we're in week 4. We're doing the principle of vibration. Now what's coming up are the principles of polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. The 7th principle actually might be a little, probably a little, shall we say, controversial in these days, but we're going to seek to make it happen. The principle of then vibration. And then we have the beautiful tuning fork there, and it is playing the note of F. It's tuned to the note of F. We see as it's vibrating, it is sending out waves. So this is the principle of vibration. And I want you to think of your mind, your higher self, in conjunction with your third dimensional mind. Your third dimensional mind is then going to be the tuning fork. And we're going to attune our higher dimensional mind in concert with our third dimensional mind. We're going to attune them or get them in tune so that they are both vibrating at the same frequencies, just different octaves. And we're going to dive into that a little bit too, because that was a revelation that just came to me a little bit earlier today. The principle of vibration. And as those of you that are watching this now are on the replay, I have put up a, it's a little graphic of the states of matter. Now I know when this is a children's science graphic, and those of us that have taken any level of science or have children that are in school right now, when we want to teach children what are the different states of matter, we typically use water as a fantastic illustration of the different states of third dimensional matter. We're only talking about third dimensional matter at this point. Remember, as above, so below. The principle of correspondence. As below, so above. So if we can get an understanding of this, we can then understand how we apply it to the higher realms. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. The Kybalion. Water is a molecule that we all know is what? H2O. What is H2O? What does that stand for? That is short for 2 atoms of hydrogen, H2, 1 atom of oxygen, O. On the periodic table of the elements, hydrogen is represented by an H, oxygen is represented by an O. These 3 atoms come together and are fused together by some mysterious, I don't know, reaction, if you will. And they come together to create a molecule of water. H2O creates a molecule of water. Those atoms in and of themselves have their own energy. They have a nucleus, protons and neutrons. They have electrons that are circulating around each. They have each atom. They have a polarity, they have a magnetic field. Those electrons, protons, and neutrons are always vibrating. And yet they choose to stick together. They choose to come together to formulate a singular molecule of water. Now, as we're going to see in a little while, third dimensional matter is affected by temperature. You can tell how fast or slow something is vibrating by the temperature. Certain things are affected and slowed down. You yourself know that if you're outside in the cold, your body will slow down to do what? To conserve what? Energy, to conserve what? Heat, so that it can survive. So as a solid, H2O, when it's frozen or it is subjected to for a length of time to any temperature below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius, it what? Becomes solid. It changes its manifestation. It changes its demonstration of itself. As it comes back to room temperature, anything above 32 degrees Fahrenheit and 0 degrees Celsius, it then becomes a liquid. And it remains a liquid, actually, in its liquid form that we're accustomed to water being in for quite a while. Now, I don't remember boiling water. I feel like it's 240 or 260 degrees. I could be wrong. Probably says it on this graph and I'm just not seeing it. But once there's enough heat applied to the molecules of water, all of that vibrational energy, the thermonuclear energy then is infused into the water. It's infused into the atoms because energy is neither destroyed nor created. So this external energy is transferred or transmuted into the water molecules. And then what happens to the liquid? It becomes a gas because those molecules are moving at a fast rate because they have been supercharged by fire or supercharged by heat. However, in none of these states are those molecules, those atoms, actually ever resting. Now, this principle was actually put forth here by Hermes thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, yet the present day, and I say present day because if you think about the entirety of human history, his story, or records, it goes back tens of thousands, if not more years, right? Millennia upon millennium. And so it's only within the last 200 to 400 years, roughly, that these laws of physics have been, quote unquote, discovered by scientists. But this principle was known a long time before there was ever a microscope or ever any kind of atomic or subatomic accelerator or anything of that nature. By this principle, we can understand that it is only varied rates of vibration that differentiate all manifestations or demonstrations of energy. So it is only varied rates of vibrations that differentiate all energy, right? The manifestations of all energy. Now, this is very, 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 very important because the difference between the demonstration of energy in your life today and the demonstration of energy in your life tomorrow is simply the rate of vibration. So I'm going to ask you to remember that as we go forward. Because of this principle, we know that the manifestation or appearance in hand, mani meaning hand, man, manu, mani meaning hand, festation, infestation, right? Meaning something that is within, permeates through, that is showing up and demonstrating as real. The manifestation or what appears in your hand, so to speak, in your third dimensional consciousness of matter, energy, mind, and spirit is all a result of how fast or slow the rate of vibration is, and therefore the frequency of that manifestation. If you really think about it, every vibration makes a sound. That's why I showed you that tuning fork at the beginning. A tuning fork, a string from a stringed instrument. I played the violin for many, many, many years. The vibration of a reed in a wood instrument. The vibration of air in your tongue for a regular wind, like a trumpet or a trombone. Every vibration makes a sound. Even heat makes a sound. We just can't pick up on it with our third dimensional hearing. We only have a specific range of frequency in which we can actually hear, okay, audibly through our natural ears. Every vibration makes a sound. Therefore, every vibration actually has a corresponding frequency. So if everything is always moving and nothing is ever at rest, and everything is energy, and as it is above, so it is below, as it is below, so it is above, and everything is mental, if we put even just the first three, we haven't even gotten to the rest of the Seven Hermetic Principles, but we even put the first three together, put them together and see how powerful your thoughts are. The vibration and frequency of not only your third dimensional thought, but your higher dimensional realization and actualization and thought is. Because the higher dimensional thought, once it becomes belief, sends out a specific electromagnetic frequency or vibration that then becomes an actualization or a manifestation into the third dimension. And we're going to get into that a little bit deeper. the principle of vibration. What we know as matter is atomic and subatomic particles that are either vibrating at a high frequency or a low frequency. The speed of the vibration does appear to be manifest by temperature. In other words, liquids are vibrating faster than solids. And for the Hermetic, the all, or source, or spirit, or God, or the universe vibrates at the highest rate. We as human beings in our third dimensional selves cannot comprehend the vibrational frequency of the all. It is a frequency from which everything has emanated and been created, and it is a frequency that everything then returns to. We are but aspects and lower or slower vibrational pieces of the all that have chosen to make ourselves manifest or incarnate in our human bodies and have a human experience at a lower frequency than our true selves are accustomed to operating in. But we chose to have this life. We've chosen to have this experience. We've chosen to be part of, if you will, the experiment. That's a choice we have made. So think of yourself as originally you were a part of this absolutely wonderful, for lack of a better word, amazing collective energy. An eternity ago, you were part of this. And at some point, the all decided to split, and the all decided to become somewhat fractured in aspects and structures, and create and beget, if you will, children, I guess you could say, offshoots all over the entire universe. Okay. However, all of these offshoots could not vibrate at the same frequency as the all. And as we go further and further and further down the food chain here, so to speak, what we know, we've talked about this on this channel before, but now I'm going to speak on it from a Hermetic principle standpoint, that everything that we see is actually moving and vibrating. The chair you are sitting in right now, if you're listening to me with earpods, the plastic, right, that is in your ear right now, one is softer than the other. I would say the softer plastic, then typically those atoms are moving at a faster vibrational speed than the harder plastic that houses the speaker that is in each earbud. And then through the wiring in that earbud is transmitted the frequency and the vibration of my voice right now, live as we're speaking right now, or on a replay. That vibration then is making the copper wiring move at a specific vibrational frequency, a specific vibrational rate. And as it moves up that copper wiring, it then comes out of the speaker and hits your eardrums, goes through your ear canal, hits your eardrums, and then is translated by however the intonations are coming through. So as I'm speaking, right, the tones change, and those tones are then translated in your third dimensional brain into words. As I get a little, as we say, heated, what happens? I might get a little excited. My intonation, the pitch may get a little higher. My pitch might get a little higher. I might shout a little bit. I might, who knows? But understand that for the Hermetic, the all vibrates at the highest. And I need you to understand that because that is the highest. There's polarity to everything. So that is the highest. What is the lowest? I don't necessarily go into it, but each are static because at some point when you vibrate either too high or too low, you are going to appear that you are at rest. Now, here we go. Take a little water. What science cannot explain, even though science can explain the fact that everything is moving. And one of the principles of physics is that once something is set in motion, it takes an equal and opposite force to stop it. It's going to continue in motion until it hits some sort of a force that stops it from moving. So when we talk about setting some things in motion, right? When you may have set some things in motion in your personal world or whatever, and or somebody else set something in motion, they did something that then cause and effect, there was a reaction and they set something in motion, the dominoes started to fall, and it at some point for a lot of people, for a lot of situations, it cannot be stopped. We set things in motion at all times through our words and through our general energy. You gotta be careful with your energy, what you're sending out. Science can explain some of that, not necessarily the words, but science can explain that when I start a ball rolling, if the ball does not have any outside forces, so if it's a completely smooth surface and completely level, and there's no bumps, it's not carpeted, it's what have you, like it's completely smooth, there's no real friction to stop it, there's not a wall at the end, you can imagine a floor that goes to infinity, and I set a ball in motion going to infinity. If there's no friction, so nothing to slow it down, no hills, no dips, no trips, no nothing, it's going to continue to roll for forever. It will not stop because once it is set in motion, it does not stop. But what science cannot explain is molecular attraction. So remember a little bit earlier, I was talking about H2O, 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen. They come together to formulate the molecule of water. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen make hydrogen peroxide. Very different from water, mind you. But no one can explain why and how these molecules are attracted to one. How does this even, how do those two, so that's a complete molecule in and of itself, H2O. Okay, so we can deal with the electromagnetic forces that hold the 2 hydrogen atoms with the oxygen atom. Well, what brings all those molecules together and holds them together as water? Or what brings the H2O2 molecules together and holds them together as hydrogen peroxide? Right? What does that? Why would the molecules ever need to come together? Because if you understand atomic structure and molecular structure, you understand that there is a balance in the electromagnetic field, and that's what brings the two of them together. There's a certain amount of attraction and polarity, but there's absolutely no reason for the other two to come together. Science can't explain that. Science can explain chemical affinity, why 2 chemicals then kind of merge and become into one. And science absolutely cannot explain gravity right now. All 3 of those concepts, all 3 of those realities require there to be some sort of a bond, a vibrational energy, something to bring these things and hold these things together. It requires some level of energetic glue. There's got to be something that's going through and kind of molding and shaping and bringing things together. Well, Hermetics can explain that because in Hermetics, it's explained as the ether. The ether is the energy, force, or matter that is the conduit for various frequencies. This is all important. I know I'm giving you guys a science lesson. I know I'm giving you a science lesson. Hang with me for a little while. Just hang with me. So if we believe then that the ether is the energy, force, or matter that is the conduit, If you don't, a conduit is the is what brings from one to the another. It's like a highway, okay? It's a highway for various frequencies. When you are a medium, you are a conduit for various spirits to be able to speak from the other world to this one. When you're a Reiki healer, you're a conduit for universal life energy. Okay? A vessel, a conduit for various frequencies. Now, if we hold that truth, then there is an energetic substrate or an energetic plasma or an energetic fluid, if you will, that is vibrating at such a fluid or variable rate that it can hold atoms and spirit together all at the same time. It can hold your feet down on the ground and you don't go floating off into space because we have a such thing called gravity. And it brings the molecules of water together. And it brings the molecules of wood and diamonds and crystals. It brought the molecules of your skin together and your blood vessels and your corpuscles. It holds the planets in orbit around their own suns, each in its own solar system, each solar system in its own galaxy, each galaxy then orbiting and going through space, through the universe. It holds it all together, holds the stars in the sky, and makes sure the moon doesn't crash down on Earth. This is the very same ether where the vibration of the mind travels as thoughts are released into the universe. Have you ever thought about how it is that your spiritual being can stay attached in air quotes to your third dimensional body and give it life and give it animation and give it a cognitive thought process and operate your chakras and all of these wonderful things? Why don't our spirits just go wandering off and kind of leave our bodies just behind as limp little puppets that haven't been picked up yet? Well, something, and I'm going to say the ether is what holds it all together. This very same ether is where the vibration of the mind, fifth and third dimensional mind, travels as your thoughts and energies are released into the universe. It is the very same ether that will then create or make manifest that which your mind, heart, and body are vibrating towards. I put all three in here for a reason. Your third and your fifth dimensional mind must be in alignment. But what must be even more so in alignment is your heart, so that it will then send out and transmit the frequency of that which you are seeking to create. As the master alchemists that we are becoming, what are you creating? Everything is always moving. You are not stuck. I don't know who else needs to hear that, but you are not stuck. You are not in an unchangeable, untenable, unmovable situation. Everything around you can change, but you have to change your thoughts, and you have to change your vibrations first, so that your vibrations and your frequencies can go through the universe at a specific octave, and then we're going to bring it on down in a lower octave. Your heart needs to be sending out the electromagnetic frequencies or the sound. You use your throat chakra in order to speak it. And your body, the reason why I included the body in this is because your body is made up of what? What is it? 70 some percent water, 80 some percent water. The frequencies that you are sending out via your mind and your heart, fifth and third dimensional minds and your heart, are also reverberating through your body. So if you don't believe it in every fiber of your being, have y'all ever heard that? I know y'all heard that. I know y'all said that. I believe with every fiber, with every cell of my body, with everything that I am. Y'all have said that. If you do not and are not vibrating, allow that frequency to get into the water that is in your very body, you are not being a walking lightning rod, if you will, or what do they call those, dowsing rods? You can literally be a walking dowsing rod and be attracting in what you need to, what you want. Okay. So here we are. You think a thought and believe it to be true. Your energy goes out across the ether, searching for and matching your energy. The creation frequency equals your alignment harmony. What are you aligned to? This should look vaguely familiar. We talked about creation frequency and alignment harmony last week. You think a thought, mentalism, and believe it to be true. Let it drop down on your heart. Then you emote, you send out energy, you send out a frequency, you send out a vibration, because everything is mental. Everything is mental. It goes out across the ether, searching for and matching your energy. It's going to go find exactly what it is. It's going to go and attach itself to and be like, oh, wait, here it is. This is the desired outcome. And then, boomerang, it's going to come back into the third dimensional realm. Why? Because we're thinking it also with our third dimensional mind. And we had to lower, we're going to bring it in through the different octaves. And I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about how you're actually doing this already. This should look familiar. We talked about this last week. As our vibrational frequency set point raises, expansion happens within, and therefore expansion occurs without in our lives. Remember the water. If your normal vibration, if your normal set point is liquid, let me help you out with something. I'm going to help you out with the test later on. When you are meditating, when you are studying, when you are setting up your crystal grids, when you're doing all this wonderful work, you are raising your vibration. As you raise your vibration, what happens? Your atoms, your energy starts moving at a faster frequency because it's going up the scale. Expansion is upward. So as you're getting out of your third dimensional self, which would be the yellow, orange, and red, solar plexus, sacral chakra, and root chakra, moving up through your heart chakra to your throat, and then up to the indigo, and then the purple on the top, or the purple and whatever colors those are, the crown and the third eye, you're getting to this enlightenment stage, right? Crown, peace, and nothing missing, nothing broken. You're getting to a place of wholeness. Because why? You are living from a higher, or vibrating from a higher frequency. That is where you're residing. That's the timeline you're in. That's the dimension that you're in when you are meditating. That's where your expansion can occur. That's where your energetic, your auric energy field is vibrating at its highest level when you are in those spaces and in those energies. That's when it's vibrating at its highest frequencies, right? So what's it going to do? It's going to expand, because what happens when liquid turns to gas? It expands. It doesn't just stay in the glass. It doesn't just stay in the pot. What happens? It expands, and then it becomes steam, and then it begins to dissipate. It never changes what it is. It is still a water molecule. It is still you putting you out into the universe saying, this is what I wish to manifest, or this is what I believe, or this is the reality which I choose to expand my consciousness to. So as you expand, right, you're vibrating higher, high vibes, vibrating higher, we get great things. As we remain in lower vibration or contraction, now here we're talking about we're going to see more pain, trauma, and tearing down of previously expanded structures. I'm going to change that up a little bit for y'all. Because what happens in manifestation is our lower vibration, our solar, sacral, and root chakras come into agreement when your energy is flowing with your upper chakras. They're just at a lower octave. They're just at a lower octave. And I might have to throw something in here really quick. Vibration can be so fast or slow that it appears at rest. These are at either ends of the vibrational pole. So do you ever get to a point where you just like, it's like you're on cruise control? You ain't moving. It feels like you're not moving. Matter of fact, if you're in a car and on cruise control, sometimes it feels like you're not really going that fast. Why? Because it's constant. You can get to a point where you're vibrating so fast. You just don't, I mean, it's just like, that's just where you're at. You're at peace. You're at enlightenment. And as things come into the third dimensional realm, they're vibrating so slow that it appears at rest. Why? Because it's at peace and enlightenment. The 7 chakras are polar opposites. The crown is the polar opposite of the root. The third eye is a polar opposite of the sacral. The throat is a polar opposite of the solar plexus. And if you were to investigate it a little bit, you would find that those pairs that I just named each resonate with a specific key, and they resonate with the same keys. Musical, vibrational keys. Therefore, manifestation. So our thoughts are unseen and they're sending out vibrations into the ether at all times. But as we're retraining our third dimensional mind and elevating the frequency of our thoughts, what happens is that you end up then resonating at 2 different octaves of the same vibrational frequency. And as you resonate, this is why it's so important to have your chakras aligned. This is why it's so important to be sure, especially that heart chakra is clean and clear and the flow of energy is nice and easy and it's just, it flows very nicely. Not that life ain't going to happen. Life is going to happen. But it is so important for you to really get in tune with who the heck you are. Right now, it's important. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not 3 Sundays from now. I mean, right now. You got to get in tune with this, guys. We're missing out on the very real opportunities we have to get into flow without being pushed into flow. When you, at your crown chakra, are in harmony and resonance, when that root chakra is so foundationally strong that the heart, that the crown chakra can soar, those are 2 different octaves of the same key. One for the ethers, one for the third dimensional, upper dimensions, one for the lower dimensions, and the ethers then as the conduit in which that energy is brought in from 5th dimension down to 3rd. I hope you all are catching that. I really and truly hope you all are catching that. These are separate, these are two, these are lower octaves and higher octaves of the same frequency. So the concept of pulling your future down from the ethers becomes super, 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 super doable, because as we begin to utilize our higher vibrational thought and frequencies through meditation, astral travel, utilizing your Merkaba, your light body to travel, you master utilizing and navigating and flowing in the ether. You master your thoughts on every dimensional level. You will master your realities, because you are resonating, you are singing in the key of life, songs in the key of life. I know some of y'all remember that wonderful Stevie Wonder double album, I believe it was. Then those of you that are, tell me if I'm wrong, but it was songs in the key of life. And it was a fabulous double album that Stevie Wonder put out many, many years ago now. Gosh, was it in the 80s? Perhaps 70s? And he went through his entire life. But there was a constant and consistent theme, and then there was growth, and then there was recognition and realization, and then there was more growth and then acceptance. Yeah. We need to be singing in the songs of the key of life. And in actuality, they are just at two different octaves. One octave, the upper octave, is where we go in the upper realm from our higher thought, from our higher self. The lower octave is our third dimensional realm. When they're in alignment, manifestation happens. Give me some hearts if I didn't lose y'all. Give me some hearts if y'all can hear me. This is such an important concept that literally just came to me, was literally challenged to me today. Maybe someone else has already said it. I'm not going to say I'm the only one that's ever got it. But that truly is what manifestation is two separate octaves. Okay, gotta try to get back. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get back to. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm back. Songs in the key of life. Do we understand what we're saying here? That in fact, vibration, the principle of vibration is really this. Can you resonate your desired reality from your mind, your higher mind and your third dimensional mind? Can you maintain that frequency and get your corresponding lower chakras in tune with that frequency, so that the bridge of bringing it from the outside dimensions through the ethers and then it manifesting, that is true alchemy. That is true alchemy. Now, I know we've been on here almost an hour. What I'm going to do is I am going to copy the link here. You guys can just come on and we can speak here. If anybody wants to pop in real quick, you may do so. True alchemy, guys. That it just blew my mind as I recognized. I always knew they corresponded. I always knew the crown and the root corresponded, and the third eye and the solar plexus correspond. Sacral and the throat and the solar plexus, for numbers of reasons. I had no idea, right, that the correspondence, until I was just doing some more research, literally was the frequency and the tone correspondence. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Well, I wanted to give you guys a chance to get on here. If you have any questions here, you can ask. Otherwise, we're gonna probably wrap it up pretty soon here. This has been just an amazing time together. I'm putting the link here for my link tree as well. So we want to do that as well. If you want to reach out to me and work with me and or get some more information about Lightworker Academy. Oh, somebody just tried to pop in. You can try to pop back in if you want. Otherwise, we're gonna roll it on up. But yeah, definitely if you wish to, please feel free to hit that link tree, and that will give you the opportunity to schedule. There we go. To schedule a 15-minute phone call with me about the certification program, and so on and so forth with that. And we're going to be doing some other, we're going to have some more information and also some more courses up there too. All right, guys. That link is also down below. So thanks so much. Okay. Oh, we have a question, but we're just trying to figure out what we're asking. Okay, Cynthia, we're going to let you see if you can put that together. If you want to just jump on the audio and click that StreamYard, you can as well, okay? You want to just jump on the audio and click on that StreamYard, feel free to do so. I'm going to put it back in here again real quick. Otherwise, we're going to close this one down. Yep. Anybody that has questions, please type them in the chat now. Or come onto the StreamYard broadcast. I put the link in there. I had to get some water. Oh my goodness. Talkie. There she is.
Okay, so basically when we get our chakras aligned, okay, so true alchemy would be, oh, where did my notes go? Gosh, you're blowing my mind tonight, Lisa. I thought you had already done it before, but yeah, you got me tonight. Okay, so when our frequency, our vibrations and tone are in tune, which then would lead to, hopefully lead to the alignment of your chakras, then that's where the true alchemy, the true, how would you explain alchemy? Not the gold, the way we used to look at it, in English class, how we were brought up to
Right.
believe alchemy.
Right.
Master the principle of vibration, you master alchemy. Okay, so explain exactly the definition of alchemy aside from what we, were brought up to believe it to be.
So the definition hermetically of alchemy is the mastery of mental forces to manipulate material reality.
Which is
So using your
manifestation.
mind to manipulate reality, basically, to manipulate the third dimension.
Okay.
That's alchemy.
And then that brings the manifestation.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Because if you think it, you believe it, you send out, you're vibrating and resonating with it. It
Which
has no choice but to actually manifest.
Right. Gotcha. What you put out comes back, like you said. As
Always.
above, so below as above.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same
Always.
time. Okay, when you break
Yes.
it down like that, it's like, dang. I was
It's
really making it
crazy,
too
isn't it?
complicated. Yeah, when it's really not. It is, but it's not.
It is, but it's not.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And I like the let's see, what was it? What was it you said when I have got to get in tune with myself? That's when you were talking about the key of life and you talked about
Mm.
the Stevie Wonder. Now, what was, can you say that again? I want to get that. I
So
like
getting in tune with yourself and who you really are and what you really are about and what your true purpose is.
that. Yes. That's my
Y-
biggest struggle.
Yeah, you and but it is for a lot of people, but it isn't in the same realm because it takes guts to do it. And not that you don't have guts, but it takes guts and it takes like you being willing to tear down everything that you've been told that
Right.
you were meant to do and meant to be and find it within yourself
And
instead.
yep, and embrace what we're your true self, your authentic self.
Your authentic self. And this is where the whole where religion and all that has come in and it's kind of taken away our power in that regard because when you are always looking for a savior or some salvation outside of yourself, you're not taking any accountability for who you are, first of all, to become what you're meant to become, second of all, and you are certainly not understanding the amount of actual divinity and therefore authority and power you walk in and your creative ability. You're giving your creative ability over to some salvation concept and salvation consciousness when in reality that has always been within you. Now,
Right. We're the creator of our own
we are
destiny.
the creator, right? And that's how we were created to be creators. Now,
Right. Because we get free will. Free will leads to the
correct,
decision. Yeah.
correct,
Oh, Lisa, that's so freaking awesome. Bringing it
correct.
together. But how do you get to that point where you can embrace that? Like you said, tear down those walls of, whatever religion, because I'm not going to say I'm religious, but raised Southern Baptist. So you know how that goes. It's in me.
Yep.
Um, I believe in a creator. Um, but I also believe there's more, and he wants us to get to it. He's not just going to sit there and go, "Oh, here, let me just give you all this knowledge and just, cut me loose." I
Right.
think he wants us to figure it out.
Well, yes, definitely he wants us to figure it out. You get to that point really by getting to know thyself, right? So I began to get to know me when I let go of the religious belief structures and just began to study spirituality in and of itself, and then actually began to spend time with myself in meditation, um, or just generally, just like sometimes at night, just playing meditation music rather than playing
Yes,
whatever. During the
yes,
day, just playing meditation music
yes.
rather than
I've
just playing
really
whatever,
gotten right,
doing
and
that instead, because then I'm not like formally meditating, but I'm feeding that frequency into my body and my brain and my spirit, and I'm empowering my spirit so that when later on I want to meditate, it's easier. So it's really just it's a question of that, and then learning to listen to that higher self first, that first thought that we sometimes poo poo.
yep,
I taught a while back on this whole 5 second rule. I can't remember the woman's name, and I'm so mad that I can't remember. I can see her face, but she talks about this 5 second rule where you this thought that's really your real thought and your real desire. You have 5 seconds when you think it, five, four, three, two, one, before your third dimensional mind kicks in and says you cannot do that.
yeah, that doubt.
Right,
Hmm,
right.
that's good.
So um that's where we've got to start listening to that higher dimensional mind. And that's why, especially right now, I know a lot of you probably that are listening now and will be listening after, um you all, if you're paying attention to the energies at all as they're hitting right now, the astrological energies, everybody is just like, I got to get moving, I got to get moving now, this is real,
Mhm.
I don't know what I got to do, but I got to do something. And I feel the same way, and it is time for us to just step out. It's time. And
If we don't, we're not going to achieve eh, not greatness, but we're not going to achieve our better self,
Yeah.
not just our authentic self, but
Yeah.
our better self that we were given this vessel, this soul to become
Right.
for a
Exactly.
reason.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, I need to get some like anybody got any titles or you know any suggestions, especially about breaking down that I'm what 48, so all that and getting just down to the nitty gritty of my spirituality, so that I can tear down to build back up, to
Right.
build up to where I should be, to who I should be.
Well, hang tight because we're actually Lightworker Academy is actually about to put out a kind of a certification light, if you will, course
Yeah,
that's
and I
going to
want
help you do just that.
well, and then that's what I was waiting for. I hate to say it, but the stimulus check, that would be the only way I'm going to be able to do
Oh,
I
you'd
want to
be
get in
surprised.
on the light
I'll
worker.
say that that's the now. Can I just be nice and I'm a little honest?
Be straight, girl. Give it to me real.
We can't depend on whether or not we getting a stimulus or we not getting a stimulus. We can't depend on a job or not having
No,
a job because
mm-mm.
tomorrow you could not have that same job that you just got today. So
Girl,
we
don't
have
I
got
know?
to manifest our funds, our
Yeah,
third dimensional funds, in the same way that we manifest everything else.
yeah.
I am not dependent upon a job or anybody else. No,
Uh-uh.
I'm not working a full-time job now, but I wasn't dependent upon that. I can go back and work a job right now if I want to. It don't matter.
I
But
wish I
I
could.
don't depend on that or anything else for how my bills get paid or for whatever else that I want.
No, mm-mm. I just believe I know that one way or the other, it's I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be provided. I'm gonna provide for myself.
And that's exactly where you got to be. But we're
Yeah,
going to be doing some of that on a light level. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's really just even watching things like this, listening to I listen to like Jason Stevenson from meditation music. I
Yes,
listen to
yes. Michael
um
Seeley,
yeah,
Michael,
meditative mind, new energy.
Teo, Teos Winds, or no, Teos Spirit. Have you
I
ever?
don't know if I've heard them, but
Oh, I'll have
like
to
so
send
just
you that
different that
one.
it begins to break things down. So just
Yes.
continue to show up and
Okay.
we're
All
here.
right. Yep.
Okay.
And I'll sign up. I definitely need to then sign up for that 15 minute call with you and
Well,
just put it
those
in.
are for when you're ready to sign up to get certifications. So
Yeah. I'm
those are
ready
for
to
when you're ready to
take
get
that
the
leap.
certification.
It's time to take that leap.
All right. Well,
That leap of faith.
all right. I'm waiting on you, Cynthia.
You got it, girl.
All
But
right,
this
honey.
makes, thank you so much. This makes,
Thank you.
I got it. I got it.
Thank
God,
you so
you're
much.
awesome.
All
God,
right,
you're
hun.
a blessing.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lisa.
All righty. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So we did have here, I'm putting this back in. So we did have Tamika on here. She wants to come back. Please do. Lisa Rinsdale says, can you give me an example? If you're resonating in fear, it is difficult to manifest because you're vibrating at a low level. Exactly. So this is the thing. If there is issues where you are still resonating in fear, Lisa, this is what we need to do. A lot of people left. This is what we need to do. We need to find out where that fear is coming from, get to the root of that fear, because whatever's putting you in fear now today is actually not what the reason for your fear is. So we got to get to the root of the fear, root that out, transmute that energy, reintegrate it into your foundation so you're no longer resonating in fear, and then that raises your vibration. I would not be lying to you all if I told you there weren't times where I'm just like, ooh, is this really going to happen? Even I have those moments where I've got to raise my vibration back. It's not going to be perfect, but I tell you what, the more you continue to raise it back up and build your faith back up and raise it back up and build your faith back up, the more you continue to do that, man, the better, the less you slip back off into fear um when you're manifesting. Okay. All right, guys. Anybody else have anything else? Hey, Justice, how are you, love? Good to see you again. Good to see you again. All right, gang. Well, I am going to get on out of here. We've been here. I try to stick to an hour. Stick to an hour these days. I try to stick to an hour. Um, the Linktree link is down below in the description. If you want to, check out my other socials. Check out, because I do have some separate, Instagram content and stuff like that I don't put up here. And then also, if you want to schedule some time to see about enrollment into that certification program. Now I'll tell you, the certification program, guys, when you're ready to go on and make this we'll just say, for lack of a better word, career. Okay. So when you're ready to make this a career, and you're ready to step out and be the healer or the counselor, or just really just take the master class for what it is and not even get the certification, just so you can master your energy body, master to a greater degree astrology, the tarot, Akashic and galactic record reading, and much, much more, then that is the place for you to be. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I so very, very, very much appreciate it. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Thank you again. Have a great evening. We'll see you sometime this week. Bye-bye.